been playing Donkey Kong Bonanza for probably like 5 or 6 hours. I think I just got to sub layer 400, which I think is like the fourth kind of world at this point. And I know you haven't had it, so you've only played it for a little bit um, here at my place, kind of before we start the podcast or whatnot. But got on the screen here, I guess, just initial thoughts. I think it's very, very pretty, first off. Like,
Agreed.
I do think Nintendo, they get a lot of crap for, like, why don't you make, like, a powerful console that can play things at, like, 4K 60? And it is really nice to see Donkey Kong in, like, basically, like, somewhere around 4K, and it runs at 60 frames per second. The game's just very, very pretty. DK looks like a stud. You can
It
put
looks
him.
great. I like the rebrand for him.
I do too. He looks fun. He looks like strong and bulky and big. You can change like his fur color and all kinds of outfits and ties, and they give you different perks, which is kind of a fun touch as well. So I think like aesthetically, the game looks very very cool, and it looks really good like in motion too. Like I said, it is very smooth, like the gameplay. Um, there are a few moments where like the frame rate will drop a little bit. It's usually when you open the map, because it like zooms out from the world and then also shows all of your destruction that you've done in the world on the map. So it's probably got a bit to like load in like a millisecond.
Yeah, it's always processing.
Um, but other than that moment where I've gone from the world to the map, I haven't noticed like really any like drops to the smoothness yet. Maybe it gets a little crazier with different Bonanza transformations later in the game. Um, but smoothness, very, very good. The game's just uber pretty. It just, I know it's made by the Mario Odyssey team. It like looks and feels a lot like Mario Odyssey. Even this like red world we're looking at here just reminds me of kind of that desert world in Mario Odyssey with like that gold lion creature that you would like ride on. Um, so it just gives me the vibes of that game in like visually in being like very pretty as well, and kind of gameplay wise as well, which we talked a little bit about last week. In like how would we like the little mini challenges for what are they called? Banandium gems, I think the bananas. I think they're called Banandium
Bananas.
gems. I think there are 1,000 of them in the game. Is what I heard one place. I'm not even sure if that's correct, but that's about how many were in Mario Odyssey. And it's kind of fun to have like a little dopamine hit every like minute or two when you find a new banana. But I do prefer like the Mario Galaxy method of like, okay, we have this galaxy and we have 5 different like big objectives for this galaxy, and you have to choose one before you start, because then we're going to morph that whole world to be like, okay, this is a 5 to 10 minute challenge that is either going to be like combat focused or platforming focused in order for you to get that one star. And I do think it makes the stars, I don't know, like the high of like getting a star in Mario Odyssey is higher for me than the high of getting another Banandium gem
I see.
in Donkey Kong Bonanza. Again, I'm not super far in. Maybe that changes, but that does seem like one of the core gameplay loops they went for was, yeah, we did 1,000 moons in Mario Odyssey. We want to do a similar amount of uh, bananas here in Donkey Kong. So whether or not you loved Mario Odyssey will probably determine whether you love this game or not. Uh, and so I think that would be my one negative is I do prefer like it having a bit more weight and being like a trickier, longer challenge to get something that feels a little more worth it to me than a banana. Um, I continuing on negative so far, I do think it's very easy. At least the combat sections, when you have to fight a boss or you'll go into these little like challenge arena rooms. Some of them are combat focused, and all the combat ones I think are just very trivial, where it kind of matches the vibe of Donkey Kong feeling very strong. which I think they wanted him to, obviously, in this game where you can basically destroy 95% of the world if you want. Um, but I do wish there was like one difficulty level harder where like they just added extra protection like around the enemies like weak points and like tripled their health bar or something, because it does seem a bit too easy in the combat sections. Platforming wise, I feel like it is ramping up pretty good. Where like finding Cranky Kong and how to get to him. He usually has a banana that he'll give you if you can get to him and talk to him. But he's like in tricky places, like either up really high or like on some platform that you don't think that you can get to. And those have been like the most fun instances to me is like, okay, how can I climb up? And if I hold this rock, then I can throw it for my double jump, do a roll, and then if I push the grab button in the air, it like stalls me for a second. And I can do a second roll in the air and trying to like chain those things together into like a really cool jump pattern. Um, but it does seem like there isn't again as much of a focus on like hardcore platforming in this game. It's more like can you be clever with your smashing and um, or sometimes you can be clever with platforming instead. But I don't know. So at first impressions, I really like it. I think it's pretty. I think it's fun. Smashing stuff is a good time. Donkey Kong looks cool. Like it runs really well on the Switch. I think it's awesome. Really pumped that Donkey Kong like got his own like big game. I was very surprised as well that they didn't just do like, yeah, we got Mario Odyssey 2 because that was such a hit on the Switch. So very cool that like Nintendo shook it up a bit. But I think at this point I would give it like a I don't know 7.5 or 8 as far as like how enthralled and like thrilled I've been to play it. I think the fact that it's Donkey Kong has been like the pull.
Yeah.
Um, but it's a little too easy. I think the destruction's very cool, and there have been like some moments where I'm like, oh, they use that in a very cool way for that banana. But then some of them, I'm just plowing through the earth, and I'm like, oh, I found a banana by brute force, not by being clever, you know. And so it does feel like it's a game where you can do either. You can try to be clever and like not destroy stuff unless you see like hints like okay there's a deformation here or a discoloring of dirt or excuse me or it looks like they excuse me like they want me to climb this section or avoid this uh like spiky viney material here and so there must be some reason for that. So I'm going to climb around the backside to get around and see what's going on, and so you do feel clever doing those things sometimes. But if it took me 3 minutes to do that, I could have just been like, oh, looks like there's something over there. Smash, smash, smash. And 20 seconds later, instead of 3 minutes later, I got the same banana just by being an agent of Donkey Kong chaos instead of a smart donkey,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I don't know if I have much more to say than that. It's very impressive, very cool. Like the fast travel and the fact that you can, like, in each world, there's like different sub layers. So you'll be like, world sublayer 300 and then you'll go down to 301 and then there's you can slam on these barrels to shoot back up to 300 and they're kind of interconnected and it has some cool verticality because of the fact that you can smash up and down and break stuff. So I don't want it to sound like I don't like it. I think it's awesome. um, but I do think where I want like Donkey Kong Country level of like platforming perfection. And um, this is cool. And it seems like it has some of those moments, and maybe it will have more later in the game. Early in the game, it seems like a game my kids are going to really love when they finally get to play it at Christmas, because they'll just be able to smash anything they want and find bananas in weird ways that mostly involve smashes.
Yeah, it seems like it's definitely targeted toward kids. Kind of reminds me of a brain rot game where we're going to make it as explosive and beautiful as possible, but nothing really has a reason. Like, I have a skill tree as Donkey Kong, but the game's so easy, so why put any skill points into anything that helps me fight? It's like, if there's skills for XP and collecting items, let me just get as much gold as I can. There'll be explosions the entire time.
Yeah.
The game will be simple, but there's not much. I don't know. Obviously, I haven't played a ton of it. I only
Yeah.
played like a half hour, but
Mm-hmm.
just watching the videos I have and this video and watching you play it, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. I think that is like, as like some, I don't want to like toot my own horn, but someone that's played thousands of video games, and I would say like I'm kind of a hardcore gamer. Not that I'm very good at them, but I've played a lot of games. That is the first impression I get, is like it's too easy. I wish it was harder. Um, and I hope that it gets a bit more nuance and later on. I've still only unlocked the first uh, Bananza transformation, the big brute guy who can smash through like cement. And
Yeah.
so with the two others that I know about, seem like a bit like more useful, that could maybe have some clever things tied to them. And I know there are some secret ones that I don't know yet that like reviewers were not allowed to talk about in their reviews. So I'm hoping that there are some very cool surprises. And
Yeah.
everything I've heard is like the finale is supposed to be excellent. Um, but if the game's 40 hours long or 30 hours or however long it is, it's supposed to be pretty big. I just hope that I really enjoy more than just the last 10%, where it starts to get like
Yeah,
where
and
I'm
is the
going for
less
100% and things getting hard. I want to enjoy the 80% before that too.
one is the last 10% just a Rainbow Road idea of just cool colors and explosions, or is it actually like skill based and difficult? It
Yeah.
doesn't seem to me like you even need a skill tree in this game. It seems like an unnecessary thing if the game is easy as pie. But then also you have to look at target audience because young people will be playing this. This might not be extremely easy for some
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there's a lot of buttons. You can swing up, sideways, down. You can surf, and then yeah, you're comboing jumps and all this stuff.
Yeah. And maybe I'm so early because I have been impressed with like the movement system and how it feels to control him.
It
Like
looks smooth,
it's
yes.
smooth, like you can do pretty amazing things with the surfing and like the rolling and the like forced double jump in the air and throwing the rock down to get another double jump in the stalling. I just don't feel like it's used all of those or forced me to use all of them
Do you feel
yet.
like this is a button most people will play just spamming one punch button most of the time?
I think a lot of people will because I think it's like the simplest way to get from A to Z on
That's true.
at least in these early stages that I've played. Again, I'm probably 4 or 5 hours in, um, and I've been pretty thorough. So maybe in 4 to 5 hours, like someone that wasn't being as thorough would be twice as far as me, and
Yeah.
maybe then it does start to get trickier. That's my hope because I really want to love this game. I want to love it so bad. Um, but so far, I just like it and think it's super pretty and impressive, but I don't love it yet.
Yeah, to me, my verdict would be in my little experience here is I will have fun with this game, but I also see a ton of repetition in it and just exploding colors and not too much feeling of accomplishment because there's so many unlockables and tiny quick side missions that nothing feels that valuable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to bash on the game. It's probably amazing and I love Donkey Kong, but
Yeah.
I don't know. From what I've seen, I'm not there's nothing inside of me screaming at me to play this game constantly right now.
Yeah. Like we've had it here for you to take home and stream, and I think you've just been like, yeah, you just finish it first, and I'll do it later.
Yeah, when I initially heard Donkey Kong game, I was like, okay, okay, okay. And then you kind of had explained to me this was like Odyssey and it seems to be just these quick little mini games
And some of
that
them
are
are
like
clever, but I feel like it's only been about 10% of them to this point.
yeah, I would in my ideal Donkey Kong game, I'm too much of like a Souls-like lover. It's like bring Donkey Kong out. He's gone through a hard day. right? And he's weak and he's not doing so good. And over time, as you do things in this world, and it's kind of open but kind of linear, kind of like Bloodborne or Dark Souls, just like those games where there's options to find shortcuts and different things, but you're actually growing your character to be able to get through the game. I think you could take this default character from the second you start the game and beat final boss first try.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what the final boss is like, but
And they're going for something different,
they
obviously, with
are.
this,
Yeah,
but
but I agree. Like Donkey Kong is like such a force in this world, but I would imagine like in this world, there's got to be other strong things that are also like a force. Like the new Kong that they've introduced, I think is what's his name? It's not Cranky because he's the main one. It's what the heck's his name? There's a big.
funky.
No, I think it also starts with a C. Um,
Carl.
no, I'll look it up. It doesn't matter, but he is also very big and grungy looking. He looks like he's like worked in a mine. He's like an engineer or whatever, and he like makes some of these weird like rock creatures that you fight.
Ah.
Um, and I'm like, man, he's like bigger than Donkey Kong. I just want him to be a force back at me, like scare me a little bit. Like,
Is he an enemy?
I haven't had to fight him directly yet, just the things he's created. But even the things he's created have been 7 times my size. And so I'm like, I want those things to scare me. Like, move a little faster at me, like, damage me.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
It's also a little too easy to just get like a ton of hearts. Like, with a couple of upgrades, you can be up at like 5 hearts. And if you build these like little, it's not called a house, like a getaway or something. It's a little room. You pay gold, and they'll build you like a little like safe room with a bed and like the boom box where you can listen to the different Donkey Kong music and change your outfits and stuff. Um, the more of those you have built in a specific layer, the better the beds get at like refilling your health. And so I've built 8 in one layer, and it gives you your all your health back plus 4 temporary hearts.
Oh wow.
So I'm at 5 plus 4, so I'm at 9 hearts. I'm like, this boss is gonna hit me once maybe, and I've got 9 hearts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think as someone that just like loves Donkey Kong, I probably just went into it like wanting it to be what I wanted it to be, and
Yeah, me
a
too.
little bit instead of like, okay, let me. It's been even a lot of years since Tropical Freeze, and this isn't a 2D Donkey Kong Country game. I need to just try to meet the game where it is a little bit more instead of me wanting it to be something else. So I'm gonna try and play the remaining, I don't know, 3/4 of it that I have with a bit more of that attitude, and maybe I'll come around on it a bit more because I want this to be like 9 out of 10, like I loved it, but right now I don't feel that.
Yeah, I want to say a bunch of good things about it. Obviously, I haven't played with it too much, but from what I see currently, I mean, this to me is like Power Wash Simulator.
Yeah,
It's like
I do
that's
feel
like all
like
you're doing.
I do feel like for people that like that kind of vibe of like clearing debris, man, you can spend a lot of time in this game just doing that and getting a similar like dopamine hit on your way trying to find bananas. This boss, for example, is one of probably the second or third in the game.
Stompin' Clomper.
Were you here when I was fighting him?
No, but I'm
No.
excited to see this because I want to see if this game is difficult in any way or if it's just.
See, he just went right into banana frenzy mode.
Yeah, I don't know that they should allow you to do
I
that
don't
so easily.
It is very easy to just like always have that charged up. So I'm trying to fight all the
Yeah, so weird.
bosses without it. But
So
then for
everything
this
is halfway
phase,
dead.
you have to use it because you can only break his concrete, the silver gray material in that frenzy mode. So that boss is dead.
Look at that. Okay. Remember, in OG Donkey Kongs, you'd have a pirate, uh, parrot, pirate
Yeah, they
bird.
drop the
He's
eggs.
dropping the eggs. It's actually relatively difficult. There's some variation in the way the eggs bounce.
Yeah.
They start to be more eggs, and you got to catch him at the right time, and then he swoops down. What was that? That guy stood there with his snow boots on, and you punched him 4 times, and he fell over and was half dead.
Yeah. See, that's
It,
my issue. I'm like, maybe that's not one of the like 7 main boss fights. Maybe that, but it is like a before you go to level 3 or wherever this is, that is the fight before level 3. And so
hmm.
maybe they're ramping the boss fights up slowly, but that is such an easy boss fight.
Yeah, that's once again, I don't know what they were going for. They can create their game however they want,
Hmm.
but it just to me, fighting that boss was no more exciting than fighting the every enemy up to that boss.
Right, because they took 2 punches or whatever. And
Yeah,
he
it's
just
just
took 7 punches
they're
or
like,
whatever.
"Oh, we gave you a very lame boss. Now make sure you find 75 bananas before the next one."
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I
Yeah.
will play this and I will have a good time with it, but I am curious.
Am I going to remember it like fondly in 3 years? Or am I going to be like, yeah, that's a thing I played?
No, or am I going to have a broken square button?
Yeah, that is for reals. I am pushing that punch button a lot because I think it's Y, which would be square, to punch forward, A or circle to punch down is what I changed it to,
Ah,
and
yes.
triangle to
Uh-huh.
punch up. And then I use the left trigger a ton as well because it rolls. So you can do like a roll jump,
Mm.
um, and you get around faster by rolling. And then the right trigger is how you pick up chunks of the earth that you can surf on or throw or double jump with. So you are pushing, especially the punch button, but even though triggers, you're pushing a lot of buttons often. And that's what even makes me like more bummed at this point is like there's such a cool move set. Like you can punch up, forward, down, you
There's
can
just no reason to use it.
roll, but yeah, there isn't has not been a reason to use it yet. So very much hope that changes. And I think like the aesthetics and the vibe of the game, like so cool. I really hope the
Yeah.
gameplay steps up
Yeah,
to
bring
match.
back like Crash Bandicoot bosses. Things are timed, you're on a grid, the ground's falling, there's a kangaroo coming after you,
Yeah.
weird, make it difficult. I'm saying a lot of negative things about the game, but I just don't know. Maybe I'm too old to enjoy this like it can be enjoyed.
I also don't know. I thought I would like this, the change to a boss having a health bar, where
Ah,
in Nintendo games they don't usually. It's
that's true.
try to get to the weak point, and if you hit the weak point once, then the boss changes up his move set. You hit it again, he changes it up for like a frenzied third mode, and you hit it a third time and you win.
Right.
Or for the hardest bosses, they might do it 6 times.
Yep.
3 or 6 is kind
When
of
you had
their
to
jam.
jump on the little what was it? A mouse that you first fought in the Donkey Kong, or is that what that was? A mouse or like a
Oh, it's like
beaver?
gopher or beaver, yeah.
Yeah, I think you had to jump on its head 6 times or something.
Yeah.
And most bosses were that
Uh,
way.
and I'm not sure. I think I would prefer that to what I just saw with that boss of go to the Bonanza and just pummel the crap out of the health bar. Because that health bar really became 2 hits, where he took it halfway down,
Yeah. Hmm.
and then the guy got his feet back, and then he took it the rest of the way down. So I don't know if
Yeah,
I
maybe
like the health
creative
bar change.
platforming to somehow get high enough above that enemy while
Yeah.
it's also moving and avoiding you or something.
Yeah. Instead of just, oh, I'm going to smash the crap out of your feet and then punch you. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I really hope they're going to be more creative with it. And it's gotten rave reviews everywhere.
Like
So
everyone's loving it.
loving. Like I think it has a 90 on OpenCritic, and
Uh-oh, people are going to
our
hate
people
my
are.
comments in this podcast.
Yeah, we've been a little harsh on it, but we've only played the first few hours, and like you said, you've only played 30 minutes. Um, so I don't know. I hope there's a lot of surprises. I hope that the gameplay catches up as far as like ramping the difficulty at least a little bit. Not even like difficulty so much, just like more clever uses as opposed to a smash-a-thon. But
Yeah.
anyways, I think
Yeah.
those are my first impressions after 4-ish hours with Donkey Kong Bonanza. This is actually right where I am at this branching path where you can
Oh,
choose the
crazy.
right or the
Perfect
left.
timing.
And I'm probably going to choose this left way with the snow because I like the snow levels in Donkey Kong. So I'm going to stop here so that I don't see what is through that tunnel. Whew,
If nothing else, the game's very pretty. People are going to love it. It's going to be a lot of fun and
for sure.
explosive. And
Absolutely.
I was being a harsh critic. Forgive me.
I, I, I was being a harsh critic as well. I think again, mostly just because I have such high expectations
Yeah.
for Mario and Donkey Kong games.
Especially an $80 game on a new gen.
Yeah, this one was actually 70. They didn't charge
Yeah,
the same amount
70.
as Mario Kart, but yeah. And in my opinion, I think this one would be, uh, just given the length that I've heard and like how long the game is supposed to be, I would rather pay 80 for this Donkey Kong game and have Mario Kart be 70. It seems like you blasted through Mario Kart's content in like 3 hours.
Oh man, my Switch 2 is legitimately a decoration.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was a lot of thoughts, but those are our first impressions on Donkey Kong Bonanza.